Good afternoon and welcome to another Children's Chapel here at Unitarian Society of New Haven. My name is Jesse Greist and I'm the Director of Lifespan Religious Education here. We're going to begin our Children's Chapel this week right where we left off last week with a song that's called the Song of the Seven Principles. I have the words behind me. I'm going to stand to the side and sing it and drum it, and I invite you to sing along with me. Here we go. Thank you so much for singing that song with me. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too, and that you are singing along out there in your homes. We are going to light our chalice now. Our chalice lighting is the one that we used last week. It's also the one that our students who step up and who have stepped up have used in the past. And so this chalice lighting, the words are over here. Let's say the words together. I will point to them as we say them. Let's say them together and then we'll light the chalice. We light this chalice for the light of truth. We light this chalice for the warmth of love. We light this chalice for the energy of action. Our chalice is lit, and I wanted to now share with you a little bit of a story. This is a true story, something that happened to me a long time ago. And before I tell the story, I want to tell you kind of why I thought of it this week. So many of us have been spending the last 2-3 weeks at home without the ability to go to school, without the ability to go to our church, to USNH. We can't go to parks, and we're being told to stay in our homes to help protect ourselves and our community from the COVID-19 or coronavirus. Because of that, there can be a lot of things that we hearing things on the news, hearing things from our parents, hearing things from our friends, and sometimes we hear these stories and we later find out, well, maybe somebody was just saying something and they weren't quite sure that it was 100% true. And some of these things are absolutely true, and it's hard sometimes to figure out what the difference is between truth and opinions, because there's going to be a lot of that going around in the next few weeks and in the past few weeks. So I wanted to tell you a little bit of a story that happened to me once, where when there was a time when people were very afraid, that sometimes stories got told that turned out might have been more about people's fears than about what was really happening. So I'd say about 10, 11 years ago, when I was living in Costa Rica, I decided that I was going to take a walk out into the woods. And I wanted to get up to this high point. In fact, it was the highest point in the town I was living in, Monteverde. It was a place that was called the Water Tower, the Tower Hill. And it was up above, and it's a place where there were a lot of phone antennas and TV antennas and things like that. And you had to walk up a very, very high hill to get there. That point was up so high, it was more than a mile up above sea level. And I started walking through town, and I told some people that I was going to go up there. And when I went through one of the stores where they were selling bread, the owner of that bakery said to me, I said, I'm going to go up to the Tower Hill. And the owner said, oh, that's probably not a good idea to do by yourself. There are mountain lions out there. And I said, uh-oh, there are mountain lions out there? I better be careful. Maybe it's not such a good idea to go up there. But I really, really wanted to, so I continued on my way, and I passed someone else, a friend of mine who was bicycling along the road, and we stopped to talk for a minute. I said, I'm going up to the Tower Hill. And this person said, oh, you have to be careful. You can't go up there. The wind gets so fast and so strong up there, it can blow you right over. And I said, oh, maybe it's not such a good idea to go up to the Tower Hill. So I continued walking on my way, and I came across one other person, another teacher that I worked with. And I said, I'm going up to the Tower Hill. And I'm really looking forward to my hike, but I've gotten a little worried because I've heard that there are lions up there, or pumas. I've heard that the wind is really strong and could blow a person over. And you know what that other teacher said to me? They said, I've got an idea. Let's go up to the top of that hill together, and we can take it slow, we can take it carefully, and we can try our best to be prepared for anything that could go wrong. And together, we can probably make it. So, the two of us started up, and we hiked, and we hiked, and we went past the last house that was on the path up to the Tower Hill. And we hiked, and we hiked, and we went up into an area where the path got very, very narrow. And we saw vines coming down from the trees. We saw beautiful orchids growing on branches. We saw a movement in the bush, and we thought, it's a puma! And what came out of the bush was a small creature called an agouti that looks kind of like an overgrown rat. Beautiful, beautiful creatures. And it scurried off the path before us. And then we saw all sorts of beautiful things, insects, butterflies. There was a kind of a butterfly called a morpho butterfly that whose wings are bright blue and that glows and reflects the sunlight. One thing that a lot of people don't know about a morpho butterfly is that it looks brilliant blue. You can look it up on Google Images, and you can see that a morpho butterfly is a beautiful deep blue color. But if you take a morpho butterfly and you look at it upside down, its wings are actually brown. And that's because the blue comes from the sunlight reflecting off a powder that's on its wings. And if you look at it without the sunlight shining on it, then it turns out that its wings are brown. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm telling you to go find a morpho butterfly, grab it, and turn it upside down. I'm just saying. Anyway, we continued on our way, and we finally made it up to the top of the mountain. And sure enough, when we came out of a clearing, all those antennae were there. And you know what? There was a lot of wind up there. And it whipped through our hair, and it made all of our jackets rustle like this. But it wasn't quite enough to blow us over. And so we came down that mountain, thinking to ourselves, it's so important when someone gives you a warning and expresses a fear about something, to go and find out for yourself, either doing research or to go and ask somebody who might know, to try to figure it out. And in these times when we're hearing so much about this sickness, it is so important for us to listen to the advice of our parents, our healthcare officials. When people say that it's important for us to stay away from each other, that is really, really important. But we also have to know that there might be some things that we see on social media, or that we might see announced on the news or something like that, that later it turns out was either incorrect or might be an exaggeration. So let's get through this time knowing that our fears are going to be a little bit higher than normal during this time, and that it is so important for us to calm those fears a little bit and to control the risks, to not be around other people right now, not be going out into big public spaces, or, sliding down slides in the public parks and then having our friends slide down after us. But it's also important for us to know that this is still a time of love, of togetherness, and our fear does not necessarily need to be our whole lives. We are going to be okay. You are going to be okay. And with that, I'd like to move on to our final closing song. But before we sing our final song, I wanted to invite you to do something. If you are in your house right now with other people, your parents, your siblings, your aunts or uncles or cousins or whoever, if you're in your house with somebody right now, I'd like to invite you for a moment, when I say go, you're going to pause this video, and I'd like to ask you to share with somebody sitting next to you or nearby, or call somebody over, and you're going to share with them what was one time, and a memory that you might have of one time when you were really, really scared. What were you scared of? What feelings went through you? And how did you overcome those fears? How did you stop being scared? What were some of the steps that you took to not be scared anymore? And it could be, of course, like we said, it could be that you looked into it or you researched about the thing that you were scared of and you found out something about it. Maybe you were really scared of sharks. And then you looked into sharks and you found out that sharks don't usually try to hunt or bite people. Most shark bites are accidental, or are when somebody is really kind of provoking the shark. Something like that. So in just a moment, I'm going to say, pause the video, and at that time, please pause it and share your reflections with people around you. Go ahead and pause the video now. And welcome back. I hope that you were able to find somebody and to talk a little bit about that stuff. And actually, I wanted to share with you that here in the sanctuary, I'm with my son Cedro right now, and he's being the cameraman for us all. And he shared with me while the video was paused that he used to have, when he was much younger, a fear of the dark. He was very scared, and he never ever wanted us to turn off the lights when it was bedtime. And so we did a few things to try to help overcome those fears. For one thing, we did a series of challenges for him. He tried bit by bit, day by day, to go a little bit further down the stairs with the lights downstairs turned off. And each day he made it a little bit further into the darkness. We also used to have lights on when he would sleep, and bit by bit we had fewer and fewer lights on in his room until now he sleeps with just kind of a strip of LED lights. And so he has overcome that, and he sleeps by himself now, and with almost no night lights. And so he wanted me to share that story with all of you as a way of, again, an example of ways that we sometimes overcome our fears. So we've come to our closing song. This song is pretty easy to learn. It just repeats the same lines and the same verse over and over again, and we're just going to change one word. It's a zipper song. So I'm going to start it and sing it, and I'll give you what the next verse is going to be, and then we'll sing that together. And this is a song of gratitude, of giving thanks, and I am so very grateful for having this time together with you all. So this song is called Thank You for This Day. And the words just go, thank you for this day, oh, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, oh, thank you for this day, this healing, this healing, this healing day. So when you get it, please sing along with me, and then you can rewind the video and sing it again once you really know it. It goes like this. Thank you for this day, oh, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, oh, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Let's say thank you for these friends. Thank you for these friends, oh, thank you for these friends. Thank you for these friends, oh, thank you for these friends. This healing, these healing, these healing friends. This healing, these healing, these healing friends. And let's give thanks for the food that we have. Thank you for this food, oh, thank you for this food. Thank you for this food, oh, thank you for this food. This healing, this healing, this healing food. This food, this food, this healing food. One more, let's give thanks for this light. Thank you for this light, oh, thank you for this light. Thank you for this light, oh, thank you for this light. This healing, this healing, this healing light. This light, this healing light. And one last time, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, oh, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, oh, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. And thank you so much for being in this children's chapel with me today. I'm so glad that you chose to watch this video, and I will continue to make these chapels in the coming weeks and look forward to seeing you there. I'm going to extinguish our chalice and then say goodbye until next time. Our chalice is extinguished, but we hold on to the light, the love, the hope. Until next time, my friends, I'll see you later.